Hi, welcome or welcome back. This is a follow-up to a video I recently shared where I was going through recommendations that give me a certain autumnal vibe, and these are 8 books on my TBR that I think may also have the potential of giving me that vibe. So top of my list is Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. This follows twins Roger and Dodger. Roger is a skilled wordsmith. Languages are something he just gets. He doesn't even need to think about it. Whilst Dodger is fantastic with numbers. She finds the numbers patterns in everything and she just knows them. Roger and Dodger are not exactly humans, they're not exactly gods, there's something in between, and in comes Reed, an alchemist who is not quite their father but kind of is their father, and he has plans for their future. Next on my list is the first in the Wilderwood series, and it is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. So this is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. We follow a young woman who is the second born daughter, and as such she must be sacrificed to the Wolf of the Woods in the hope that he will return the world's gods to them. However, the myth of the Wolf of the Woods is indeed a myth or even a lie, and the so-called wolf is a man, and it turns out that the main character, I'm guessing she's called Red, has powers of her own. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher follows Mara, who is a shy third-born daughter. As the third born, she is not required to be married off to help the family, but unfortunately for her, her sisters are, and she decides to go on a rescue mission for her sister. After collecting a ragtag team of helpers, including a former knight and a fairy godmother, I believe, she goes off on a quest to save her sister from her abusive husband. All That Consumes Us by Erica Waters is a gothic dark academia novel in which we follow Tara as she joins the prestigious boarding school. It's an elite academic society set in a old Victorian dormitory. Whilst there, Tara starts to have nightmares that feel like they could consume her, and then she slowly finds out that the nightmares are not just in her mind. Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek is a Polish fairy tale retelling. So we follow Liska, who has grown up in a world where she knows that magic is monstrous and dangerous. As such, she has always had to try and hide her magical abilities. One night, desperate to be free of it all, she escapes her village into the woods. Then she comes across the demon warden of the woods, and she makes a bargain, one that people previously have made and unfortunately did not survive after making it. Together We Rot by Skylar Arden is quite high on my TBR. This follows a teenage girl called Will whose mother has gone missing. There's been no leads or any the police aren't getting anywhere in finding her mum. I think she's been gone for about a year. Will is quite certain that her childhood friend Elwood has something to do with the disappearance of her mother. Elwood is the son of a pastor for a cult-esque religion. He does not want to take up the mantle in the Garden of Adam, so he escapes when he comes across Will, and they form an unlikely friendship. A Study in Drowning is the 2023 release from Ava Reed. This is a YA book that is part dark academia, part historical fantasy, and all gothic fiction. So we follow Effie, who is a big fan of fairy tales, and she is particularly enamored with a book called The Enghard, which is a epic story about a mortal girl who falls in love with a fairy king. One day the author's family open up their estate and hold a competition for someone to redesign the estate, and Effie sees it as her chance to make something of her life and to get closer to the story that holds so much to her heart. And whilst there, she uncovers some long buried secrets. And the last book on my TBR that I think will give me those vibes, that lovely little cozy autumn vibe that I'm looking for, is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It follows Mika Moon, who is a witch and one of the few left in Britain. Witches have to isolate themselves and keep their powers a secret. They're not to mingle because it makes their powers stronger, I believe. She pretends to be a witch online. One day she receives a message from someone who's like, I know you're not pretending, I know you're a real witch, and they want her to come and teach their 3 witches. And even though it's kind of against the unofficial rules, she decides to go for it. And it's about like found family, finding a place in the world, and she also meets a caretaker who I believe she ends up having a romantic interest with. So that's the 8, I believe, books on my TBR that I think are going to give me the feeling of sitting on the sofa, cuddled with a blanket, hot chocolate with marshmallows, it's dark outside, the rain is pattering, maybe I've got like a candle burning, and I just feel happy and cozy and safe and warm. And I think all these books on my TBR are going to give me that vibe, hopefully. If you have any that you think will give me that vibe or that feeling, please pop them in the comments. I would love to read them. And you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. All of the links are down below. I also have a podcast where we release weekly episodes talking about books and what we've been reading and recommendations. So we'd love to have you over there at Lazy Book Lovers. And until next time, bye guys.